Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, double line to the apostles of GMS. This is Anna Allah coming next with the video. In this video, I'm going to focus on the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 37. Alright, now this is the scripture that we had went over. We spoke on many times. Brothers that's, in the faith. And, just, even people who aren't believers who have read through the scriptures, through the Bible. There's a scripture that a lot of people may not understand. This is Matthew the 10th chapter and the 37th verse. And through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, I want to shine some light on that, meaning some understanding. Because when you shine light upon something, you can see. You're no longer ignorant, meaning you no longer lack the knowledge of your surroundings, but you are aware of it. So me saying that I want to shine light upon it means I want to open up your understanding, allow you to understand what the scripture is talking about, so that you don't be in a dark, or rather ignorant, lacking the knowledge of what it means. So let's get right to it. Matthew chapter 10 verse 37. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Now that doesn't mean you aren't supposed to love your father. That doesn't mean that you aren't supposed to love your mother. When it says, he that loveth father or mother more than me, I'll read the whole verse. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. What he's saying there is, he's not saying that you should lay aside any kind of human emotion. Because as human beings, we have feelings of, love, happiness, hatred, sadness, so on and so forth. So what the Lord is telling you, he's not telling you to lay aside all human emotions. But he's saying that the human emotions that we do have for others is not supposed to have any preeminence or superiority over the love we have for Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, for the father and son. So you can continue to love your father, you can continue to love your mother, your wife, your siblings, your children, so on and so forth. But the love that you have for them is not supposed to have any authority or any preeminence, meaning superiority, over the love that we have for Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, for the father and son, and for his word. Okay? So that's what it is that he's saying. And he that taketh not his cross. Let me give you an example. If you have a child that's sick, of course you're supposed to take care of your child. You may not have a chance to really study or read or do a video like how I'm doing now. That's not you putting the love of your child over the love of the father and son. The Most High will understand that. And obviously, if you're a parent and you have a child, and you understand his word, that as long as nothing hinders you from doing this work, when it comes to the love of someone, it's all right. Now, if you're dealing with a woman and she's saying, stop reading that Bible and stop teaching, then that's a problem. Okay? You got to deal with that accordingly. You can't let that hinder you from this truth. So it says, and he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. So he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. Now what's the cross talking about? I want to see if I got that word cross. Let's see if we get some kind of insight on that. Okay, let's go to the Greek word.
Strong's G 4716 Staros.
Staros. The judicial custom by which the condemned person carries his stake to the place of execution. Judicial means that deals with a judge. The judicial custom by which the condemned person carried his stake to the place of execution, like when Yahweh Shai carried the cross to Golgotha, known as the place of skulls, Calvary. He carried it part of the way, but then Simon the Canaanite carried it the rest of the way. Was applied by the Lord to those sufferings by which his faithful followers were to express their fellowship with him. So just as the Lord had physically carried his cross, we are figuratively carrying this cross. Okay, just as the Lord physically carried the cross, we're figuratively carrying the cross. He physically carried the cross and was going through sufferings of his sufferings, because he was whipped. They put a crown of thorns upon his head. They spat on him. They hit him. All right. We are spiritually or figuratively carrying that cross, going through sufferings as well. In this truth. Okay? Because the scriptures speak about enter ye at the straight gate. Strait. That word there, straight, means a place of position of difficulty. You can look that word up. What does straight mean? Strait, not GHT, not STRARIGHT. STRAIT. So let's go back. So it says Matthew 10:38, and he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. So if you're not undergoing these sufferings and staying in this word, staying true to what's in these scriptures, you're not worthy of Yahushua. And it's no coincidence the Lord said that after he said, loving your father more than me, or father, mother more than me. He that loveth father, mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. It's no coincidence he said that right after that. He said what after that? And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. Because why? If we know that taking the cross is representing sufferings, then guess what? If you're putting the Lord above father, mother, son, or daughter, you're undergoing sufferings, because then they're going to have an issue with you. That's why the scripture says in Matthew 10:36. Matter of fact, Matthew 10:35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be there of his own household. And he gives you another further example of that when he mentioned, he that loveth father, mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. They will then become your foes. They will begin to come like your enemies. And he that taketh, because they'll have an issue. Some of them have an issue. Oh, you putting that word before me. You putting the gospel before me. Or you sitting there doing this, and we supposed to, we go out on Saturdays. Christmas is a pagan holiday. You know that. Oh, you don't celebrate Christmas no more? Now your family got an issue with you. According to the Bible in Leviticus, the 11th chapter, it speaks about swine being unclean. Guess what? You'll have family members that'll be upset you don't eat pork no more. You're not supposed to eat anything in the sea that don't have fins and scales. Crabs, lobster, shrimp, scallops. You're not supposed to eat that. That's deemed unclean. But that's for another video. But they'll have issues with you for that. So it's no coincidence after the Lord made that statement, he said, he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. Because taking your cross means what? You're carrying those sufferings. You're bearing the burden of sufferings. And you'll suffer putting the Lord over your family, because they'll have an issue with you. Okay? And if you do that, you're not worthy of the Lord, man. Look at the word worthy. Worthy.
Strong's G 514. Axios.
Axios. Doesn't really give you much. Okay, it has the meaning of being weight, value, worth, also befitting, becoming. So basically worthy means worth or value. Obviously means worth, of course. So there you go. If you're not worthy of the Lord, you don't have any value in the Lord's eyes. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life shall see. Matter of fact, I'm gonna stop there. I'll probably do another video in that particular scripture, because the other more examples of the scripture just came into my mind when it came to that scripture. So it says, he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. We got that. It's got another scripture. Now this is the Lord giving the parable of a supper. A parable is a dark saying, speaking in symbolic talk. Luke 14:16. Then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper and bade many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground. I must needs go and see it. I pray thee have me excused. So this man said, I bought some land. I gotta go tend to that land. Please have me excused. In other words, I can't make this great supper, this dinner. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. Go to the word prove.
Strong's G 1381. Dakimadzo. Dakimadzo.
Dakimadzo. It just says to test, examine. So you had to examine them. You got to examine them, make sure they're well, make sure they're healthy. Probably had to examine, the hooves on the animals, examine the horns, and make sure the animals weren't sick. So he has to prove them. You got to test them out, make sure they're strong, make sure they're fit to do the work that he wants them to do on his land. That's what another man said. Another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. That's an example of loving someone more than Yahweh Shah. He said, oh, well, I got a wife, I can't make it, See that? They can't make it. So the Lord had this supper, and he was inviting people. He sent his servants out, his prophets, his teachers, to go invite the people to the supper, to go and teach them, to bring them to this truth and to this gospel, so that they can partake in the sufferings of this word, which will ultimately lead us into salvation by maintaining our faith into the end. Because in this truth, you're gonna go through hardships. That's a part of the scriptures. It's all over the scriptures. Don't the scriptures say endure hardness as a good soldier of the Lord? That's in the book of Timothy. But these people had excuses, but these are examples. That's an example of someone that loved one more than the Lord. So he said, I married a wife. I can't come. See, that's an example right there. He let his human affections supersede the love he had for you. He had the love for his wife. Those human affections supersede the love that he had for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. Not saying that that man can't love his wife. No, there's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to. But if that's hindering you from this gospel, from this work, then that's a problem. So with that, I'm going to close and say, oh, praise Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, double line, see Apostle GMS. I hope you learned something. Shalom.